Becoming a parent can feel like stepping into an entirely new world. But did you know that in the first year alone, your baby will go through over 10,000 different physical and mental changes? That's right, every day brings something new, and it's not always what you expect. From sleepless nights to sudden bursts of laughter, new parents often face strange, unexpected behaviors that can leave them scratching their heads. But don't worry, you're not alone. In this video, we'll dive into 6 of the most surprising behaviors you might see in your newborn. And, trust me, they're not what you think. We'll show you what to do when your baby seems to suddenly freeze in place, cries for no reason, or demands to be fed every hour. These strange moments might seem confusing, but they're all a part of your baby's growth and development. Stay tuned, because we'll share some expert strategies and surprising facts that will help you navigate these wild first months with confidence. You won't believe how much you'll learn. Chapter 1. The Midnight Party. When baby turns into a night owl, you might expect your newborn to sleep through the night, but instead, you'll find yourself staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m. with a wide-awake baby in your arms. It's one of the first big surprises for new parents. Babies' sleep cycles are different from ours, and they tend to wake up a lot in the early weeks. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, newborns can sleep anywhere from 14 to 17 hours a day, but it's often broken up into shorter periods, especially at night. So, what can you do when your baby becomes a nocturnal creature? First, try to establish a bedtime routine. Even though newborns can't fully understand routines, they are comforted by them. You can start simple. A warm bath, dim lighting, and soft lullabies can signal it's time for sleep. Experts recommend keeping things calm and quiet during nighttime feedings. Don't turn on bright lights or talk too much, as this can signal to your baby that it's time to be awake. Another tip? Give your baby a consistent sleep space. Experts at the National Sleep Foundation suggest placing your baby in the same crib every night. It helps them associate the crib with sleep, not playtime. Also, make sure the room is cool and comfortable. About 68 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal for sleep. As your baby grows, their sleep schedule will likely settle down, but until then, patience is key. Chapter 2. The Silent Stare. When your baby gets lost in thought, you might notice your baby staring at nothing for what seems like a long time. While it might seem strange, this behavior is completely normal and part of your baby's development. In fact, it's often a sign that your baby is learning to focus. Research from the University of Washington shows that newborns' eyes aren't fully developed, and they tend to fixate on high-contrast objects as they're training their vision. The first few months are all about sensory exploration. That vacant stare? It's your baby taking in the world around them, even if they can't quite make sense of it yet. Experts say babies are born with blurry vision, but by the time they're about 6 months old, they can see clearly and track objects across a room. That's when you'll start seeing less of the silent stares and more of your baby actively engaging with their surroundings. What should you do during these moments? Let your baby be. These silent moments are crucial for brain development. Just by observing the world, they're learning to process information. However, if you feel concerned about excessive staring or a lack of eye contact as your baby gets older, it's always a good idea to bring it up with your pediatrician. But most of the time, this behavior is just another step in their development. Chapter 3. The explosive expression. When your baby laughs or cries uncontrollably, newborns express their emotions in unexpected ways, and one of the strangest is when they burst into uncontrollable laughter or tears. It may feel overwhelming at first, but these emotional outbursts are normal. According to Dr. Harvey Karp, pediatrician and author of The Happiest Baby on the Block, babies' emotional expressions are often a sign that they are processing new experiences, sensations, or even growing pains. Around 6 weeks, many babies start to show early signs of social laughter. It's an important milestone. But what about those uncontrollable crying episodes? You might be worried, but it's usually just a way for babies to release pent-up energy or frustration. In fact, studies show that babies can cry for up to 3 hours a day during the first few months, and this is considered normal. The key to managing these intense emotional moments is staying calm. Babies can pick up on your stress, which might make things worse. One trick is to swaddle your baby. Swaddling has been shown to help soothe newborns by providing a feeling of security. If your baby is laughing uncontrollably, it's often a good sign. They are feeling secure, playful, and connected with you. If the crying persists and nothing seems to calm them, consider checking for signs of discomfort, like hunger or a wet diaper. Sometimes, babies cry because of something as simple as needing a burp. And while it's tough, try not to take it personally. Your baby isn't upset with you, they're just figuring out how to navigate their big world. If you're enjoying these tips, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss more helpful parenting advice. Chapter 4. The Phantom Faint. Why your baby suddenly freezes or goes limp. It's one of the scariest moments for new parents. Your baby suddenly goes limp or freezes in place for no apparent reason. While this can feel alarming, rest assured that it's often part of normal development. This behavior is known as tonic neck reflex, and it's a common occurrence in newborns. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, this reflex is an automatic response that babies have in their first few months of life. When your baby experiences this phantom faint, their body may stiffen or they may go still for a moment. This can be a bit unsettling, but it's usually just a sign that their muscles are developing. In fact, the American Journal of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation notes that babies' nervous systems are still maturing, so their movements might seem a little jerky or out of control at times. What can you do when this happens? First, remember that these reflexes will gradually fade as your baby's coordination improves. In the meantime, give your baby a gentle reassurance by holding them in your arms and offering comfort. However, if you notice that these episodes become more frequent or seem to last longer than usual, it's a good idea to check in with your pediatrician. Your doctor can help determine whether there's any underlying issue that needs attention. By the time your baby reaches about 6 months, these reflexes will diminish, and they'll start to develop more purposeful movements. So, while these phantom faints might seem strange, they're part of the fascinating process of your baby's brain and body connecting. Chapter 5. The Hungry Monster. Why baby demands feeding every hour. If you feel like your baby is constantly hungry and feeding every hour, you're not alone. This behavior is surprisingly common and part of your baby's growth process. Babies are growing rapidly in their first few months, and they need a lot of nutrients to fuel that growth. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, newborns typically need to eat every 2 to 3 hours, but during growth spurts, they might want to feed more frequently. When you're up all night feeding, it can feel overwhelming, but it's important to remember that this phase will pass. Growth spurts often occur around 2 to 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 3 months, and 6 months. During these times, your baby might seem hungrier than usual as their body needs extra energy to grow and develop. Dr. Harvey Karp, author of The Happiest Baby on the Block, explains that these growth spurts can lead to increased appetite, so don't be surprised if your baby is demanding to eat more than usual. The best strategy during this time is to stay calm and try to meet your baby's needs. If you're breastfeeding, it's helpful to ensure that your milk supply is adequate. If you're bottle feeding, make sure you're using the right amount of formula for your baby's age. Either way, try not to stress about the frequent feedings. This period of intense hunger won't last forever. In addition, feeding on demand, letting your baby eat when they show hunger cues, can help establish a strong, healthy feeding routine. This approach also strengthens the bond between you and your baby, which is incredibly important for their emotional development. Trust the process, and know that your baby's hunger is a sign of healthy growth. Chapter 6. The Baby Frenzy. When they suddenly get overstimulated one moment, your baby is calm and content. The next, they're crying uncontrollably and seem unable to settle down. This is known as overstimulation, and it's a common experience for parents. Babies' nervous systems are still developing, and they can easily become overwhelmed by too much noise, light, or even physical interaction. A study published in the Journal of Pediatrics found that babies who are overstimulated can become fussy, irritable, or even have trouble sleeping. When your baby is overstimulated, it can feel like there's no way to calm them down. But the first thing you should do is reduce the stimulation. Try moving your baby to a quieter, dimmer room to help them calm down. This helps them feel more secure and comfortable. Experts recommend creating a calm environment with soft lighting, gentle music, or even white noise to help soothe your baby. Another helpful strategy is swaddling. Swaddling has been shown to comfort babies and help them feel secure. It mimics the feeling of being in the womb and can provide them with the peace they need to calm down. Just make sure to swaddle your baby safely. Their hips should still be able to move, and the fabric should not be too tight. If your baby is experiencing overstimulation due to too much handling, try giving them some space. Place them in their crib or bassinet for a short break, where they can rest and recharge. Research from the University of California suggests that babies need breaks from stimulation to help them process all the new information they're absorbing. Understanding the signs of overstimulation is key. If your baby is turning their head away from people or objects, squirming, or showing signs of distress, it's time to intervene. Gently remove them from the overstimulating environment and let them rest. Over time, your baby will become better at handling stimulation as their brain matures. But during the first few months, it's essential to be aware of their limits and offer plenty of opportunities for rest. The calmer you can stay, the quicker your baby will settle down. If you're finding these tips helpful, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss another parenting tip.